You know, you gotta kind of forgive me for the excitement here. It's crazy that I'm in Atlantic City where I got my radio start 15 years ago. And I remember Paul Kelly, the program director, gave me a chance to put on some of my own music. And I'm like, Paul, I want to play this song from this band I loved. And when I played Sister, I remember the phones lighting up, like, you got to play it again. And 15 years later, this band from Oklahoma is back in Atlantic City, New Jersey, with new music, back together. It's a family affair, too. You know, John couldn't make it, so rather than just find another drummer, you get Offspring involved. This is crazy. Welcome the Nixons to 94.3 The Shark. First of all, what has it been like being... This is the first full tour in decades, right?
Yeah, I was just talking to one of our crew who's driving me over, and I was, first of all, trying to figure out what the show is this on this run. It's the fifth night, and this is literally the first time I've played multiple shows, that many shows in a row, and more. You said 15, maybe more like 20. So, but I got to say, it's been amazing. This part of the country was always good to us, so still being good.
Is it like working out? Was there some preparation that had to go in this as far as the guitar work? I mean, drumming, I can't even imagine, but, you know, being younger than the guys, you still have the energy. But as far as getting back into shape, was there preparation that went into it?
For sure. You know, I mean, we've all played, and continue to play that part of it. Although Ricky's kind of the drill sergeant, as like calling me up, hey, did you practice? But all I will say is that it is an all-encompassing everything from physical to mental to practicing the music has been an undertaking, yes.
You have new music on this tour. I mean, I know you guys have played some spot shows, but there's new music, there's new songs that you're debuting and things like that. Was it more difficult playing the new songs live as opposed to the songs that you played all those years ago? Or because it's been so long, did everything take some time to get used to again?
Well, I think the old music is technically more challenging. The new music is more challenging just because it's new and we're not as familiar with it. In the old days, the way that we wrote songs was we would write them and then we would play them a whole lot. We would play them every night before we recorded them. But with the new music, we didn't rehearse it a lot before we started cutting tracks. So the songs are really coming into their own now as we're playing them every night. Because this is the first, like, there are songs that we're playing tonight, or at least one song that we're playing tonight, that we have literally probably only played 6 times ever together.
We played Favorite Lies, the brand new Nixon song on 94.3 The Shark. We had an amazing response to it. Considering the fact that you guys have been writing songs together since the mid-90s, what is it like fitting the new songs into a set list and making sure that the new stuff fits in and molds with the old stuff?
That's a great question, and I have to say that even trickier this particular tour because it's a co-headline. So, you know, some of the shows are 50 minutes, some have been an hour, and I mean, we actually wanted to play another new song that's sort of, we haven't really worked it up yet, but we were sort of thinking, okay, maybe we should do that. Well, crap, we played Ghost of an Angel, a third song, we were thinking of a fourth one, but with, you know, whatever we're playing, 12, 13 songs, it's hard to do that. So to answer your question, yeah, it was really tricky. And it's actually an interesting thing because I think that the cool thing about 2020 is hopefully we'll be able to get to go out and do some shows that we can play a longer set for people. Yeah.
Now, your dad, John Humphreys, has been in the Nixons since, well, he's been in Cedar since 2003, but he's been in the Nixons before that. Is there this sort of, I mean, obviously, I know that I never want to let my dad down. Is there this sort of extra pressure knowing that you're playing your dad's music? Like, was he joking around like, don't mess it up? Or hearing it so much, was it easier for you?
Well, the thing is like, he's taught me so much about music, and like, I picked up the passion for drumming like by myself, and he never pushed that on me, like, ever. So when I started playing drums, man, he just was like super supportive, and even doing these, these shows, he's constantly supportive, and I'm hard on myself. So is he sometimes, but about I'm hard on myself about my playing, and he's hard on himself about his playing. But, I love these songs. I love playing these songs. I grew up with them. Every time I practice him, he'll always come upstairs. He's like, man, that sounds awesome. Like, what are you doing? Because he's a double bass player. I'm like a single pedal guy to get all drum-tistical here. So it's like, we both have different styles, and I'm trying to fit my style with his, but we both have our different styles and stuff. But it's been good, man. And I'm having a blast.
The Nixons came up during a time, I believe the label was post-grunge, but you had this explosion of music from the Northwest in the early 90s, which ended the hair metal run of what was popular. And then the Nixons came out at a time when music was still trying to find its identity. Nu metal had followed that. You guys don't really fall into a certain genre. When you guys made your debut, were the record labels conscious of that? Were you conscious of what type of audience you were following?
What you just said is really kind of, I think we all kind of felt. We were just a rock band. And to be honest, we didn't really think about, we fit in here. We're all music fans. I mean, we've all been, So we were aware of what was going on. And but at the same time, we listened to a lot of underground stuff at that time. The influences, though, were similar, I think, to a lot of our counterparts that you mentioned. But, man, to be honest, straight ahead, we try to write music from the heart. Sure. And we just kind of don't overthink it, so to speak. And, it just happens. I mean, so these guys are amazing, so I play guitar, and then next
I think we sort of let the public decide where we belong. We had a lot of different influences, like Jesse was saying, but the public, they're really the ones that decide whether or not they like what you're doing, and they'll come out to see you or not.
The Nixons were a band that at one time were playing 300 shows a year. Now, obviously, band members got married, band members have families, band members have other things going on. With the new music coming out, how do you approach doing what the Nixons did while still having your other lives, so to speak? And is there a plan to continue further music with the Nixons?
Yeah, the plan is to absolutely continue until we can't do it anymore. And I mean, to me, there are so many other ways to reach people, social media and all that stuff. But it is definitely, I will say, it's definitely been a transition, just even technically, not to get vocalistic, but even like you do 300 shows in a year. I mean, my voice was like, you talked about working out. I mean, It's like, it's like in peak condition. The Nixons this last couple of years, it's 2 shows and then off for 3 months, 1 show, off for 6 months. This particular run, and maybe we'll talk in a few days after it's over, but I mean, it's been really interesting because I've never done this, and we've never done it this many days in a row. So it is a little bit different. It does create a different sort of vibe for the Nixons, but I think that what you talked about earlier with the music, I think that that's an important thing that you touched on. You said we didn't really fit in with this or that. I personally take that as a compliment because, even this new batch of music, we've got a song like Crutch that's just balls to the wall. We've got, the song that you heard at Soundcheck, Ghost of an Angel, it's a little more acoustic driven. Then Favorite Lies, that falls under the category to me of a song like Happy Song from back in the day. We were never really afraid to do a song like Happy Song that starts off going la 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 la. I mean, I just feel like we never really put ourselves in that kind of a box. We had songs like Passion that were acoustic and strings. That's it. So, I take what you said as a compliment.
2 more quick questions. The first new music that we heard from the Nixons in years was Song of the Year, which came out in 2017. We ran with it on 94.3 The Shark. Everyone loved the nostalgia factor of this song. Was it as nostalgic for you guys to do that song, or did it feel new to you?
I think there was a combination of all of that. I mean, Zach lyrically always, to me, kind of is really at a high level. But man, it was just fun just to make some music again, to me, and it was, and I think it sparked what has led on to where we're at now with the new songs, and it has led to even further excitement about what we're doing.
Were you expecting new music from Song of the Year? Like when you heard it, you realized, all right, this is the next new beginning?
Well, yeah, I think the thing that it proved is that we could still write music, because up until that point, we were just playing music that we wrote 25 years ago. So yeah, that was like the first proof that we could actually do something.
Final question, since you guys happen to be out with friends of 94.3 The Shark and Sponge, and when I saw the banner, I couldn't believe it. You're with another group that at the time really just didn't fit in. They weren't quite grunge, they weren't quite new metal. It seems to be the perfect fit. The two of you guys on stage, like, did you share road stories? Do you talk about coming from similar places? Do you feel that it's a fraternity, being the types of bands that weren't from Seattle, but yet somehow made your name in the 90s?
I think that's a great question too, man. The story I'll tell about what you just alluded to is not necessarily two bands that didn't quite fit in, but two bands where we came from. First of all, when our agent said, "How about Sponge Nixons?" I personally was through the roof. I think it's a perfect pairing. I've always liked that band a lot. Got up and sang a song with them last night. So
Sounded awesome.
good. Well, I really am I really dig them. I've always thought they were cool for the reasons you just said. That they never really tried to be anything. They were just what they were. And when we put the tour together, we were going to name it. And this is how I feel like we're similar. I called Vinny. We talked for 30 minutes. And then at the end of the conversation, I was like, I was in Detroit writing last year, and I couldn't get over how weirdly Detroit reminds me of Oklahoma. And it's sort of like just blue collar, no bullshit, just working class vibe, And so I think we're similar in that way, and also in the way that, they're still great live. I mean, they're just up there just doing their thing. They've got a very specific way they go about things, and I think it's a badass tour lineup, and we've even talked about doing more next year.
Yeah, I know this radio station on Long Island that might want to be a part of that. But gentlemen, I wish you luck. I think Favorite Lies is such a great song. I can't wait to hear the new one. I heard it in Soundcheck, but congratulations on being back, because music needs you.